Kosta. We've got so much news to cover tonight. Americans Google their symptoms. Trump throws an abortion policy reveal party. And student debt must have some bad tweets because it just got canceled. So let's get into the headlines. Let's kick things off with yesterday's solar eclipse, when people across the continent came together to have their wallets stolen while they were distracted by space. Hopefully everyone wore the correct safety glasses so they didn't catch COVID from the sun, but even if you did wear them, you still might have had a solar hangover.
Google Trends report shows some of the eclipse watchers may not have been using proper eye protection. The company says it saw a spike in searches of "My eyes hurt" following the solar eclipse on Monday.
My eyes hurt? That's not even a question. That just sounds like people were complaining to their computer. My eyes hurt, Google. Get some friends, losers. By the way, I hate that Google uses our searches to monitor trends. That's why you got to throw up some fake searches every day. Like, I'll put in "my eyes hurt" plus something random like hockey skates, edible, just to throw it off. But this story does say a lot about the state of our healthcare system. Back in the day, if you had eye pain, you'd call up your family doctor and he'd tell you to smoke more cigarettes. Nowadays, you have to wait 6 weeks to get an appointment with your eye doctor, or you can go online and immediately find out that the eclipse glasses gave you autism. Look, the good news is, for most people, the pain is probably a harmless case of eye strain. You'll be fine, because those glasses were made from the same high-tech advanced material as the birthday crown they give you at Burger King. Now, speaking of looming shadows over America, let's move on to gun violence. America treats its gun problem the way a dog treats a new baby, by hoping that if we ignore it, it'll disappear. But at this point, any progress, no matter how small, would be better than the status quo. And now, a legal verdict might have set an important precedent.
Breaking today, for the first time in the United States, parents whose son killed 4 teenagers will themselves spend 10 to 15 years in prison.
The Crumbleys provided unrestricted access to the gun, ignored their son's spiraling mental health problems, and enabled his actions by ignoring all of the warning signs.
School staff testified the parents were called to the school and urged to get Ethan psychological help just hours before the shooting, but the Crumbleys refused to take him home.
That's right. For the first time ever, parents are going to be liable for their kid's school shooting, which honestly makes sense to me. You know, we already blame the parents for a lot less. When a teenager throws a loud party, we blame the parents. Or when a kid has a stupid haircut, we blame the parents. We should blame the parents when a kid shoots up a school. And why stop with the parents? The grandparents raised those parents. So throw them in prison, too. In fact, go all the way up the family tree, you know? Great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents. Exhume all the bodies and put them in a special ghost jail. And if you're thinking, wait, we have to build ghost prisons now? Wouldn't it be more reasonable just to regulate guns? Yeah, I agree. Either way, after hearing what these parents did, I don't ever want to hear again that I'm a bad parent just for giving my kid an iPad, okay? The worst thing my kid is going to do is go to school and talk in a Peppa Pig accent all day. Let's move on to some presidential news and our ongoing coverage of Indecision 2024. If you're like most young Americans, you have thousands of dollars of college debt after getting your degree in TikTok gender studies. Thankfully, President Joe Biden is here to help.
President Biden unveiled his latest effort to free up more Americans who are bogged down by student debt. The plan announced during a visit to Wisconsin includes debt cancellation for those who now owe more than they borrowed because of runaway interest.
We plan to deliver up to $20,000 in interest relief to over 20 million borrowers.
Whoa, yeah. Wow. That's a nice forgiveness. Speaking of, it's interesting that they call this student debt forgiveness, as though the student did something wrong. We forgive you for being a poor, broke bitch. But as long as Biden's paying off student loans, how about paying off the other debt college kids incur? You know, my buddy Greg never got me back from that time I spotted him for the Sea-Doo rental in Panama City. Where's my check, Joe? But this is a reminder that college is too expensive. Tuition, room and board, books, a computer to create a social network that'll one day ruin democracy. It adds up. Now, some critics are saying that this student loan forgiveness is just a cynical bribe by Joe to give young people what they want, so they vote for him. And they're right. It's an ancient tactic called politics. And Joe Biden better hope it works, because he really, really needs young people.
In the 2020 NBC News exit poll, candidate Biden led former President Trump by 24 percentage points among voters under 30. But an NBC survey in January had President Biden up by just 8 percentage points among that group. Another poll last month showed Mr. Trump ahead by 18 points among voters under 30. Are you excited to vote for President Biden?
I would personally say no.
I'm excited to vote for someone that's not Trump, but I wouldn't say that I'm excited for Biden.
Oof, man, Joe Biden is in trouble. The most liberal city in a critical swing state, and its college students are on the fence. I'm excited to vote for anyone besides Trump. How about Joe Biden? No. So the big question is, will this new plan work? To help us answer that question, we go live to our own Josh Johnson. Josh. Yeah. Josh, you've been talking to young voters. What do they think of Joe Biden's student loan cancellation?
I'll be blunt, Michael. They think it's bullshit, okay? Young voters have deep principled problems with the Biden administration. He has failed us on climate change, social justice, and immigration, and the way he eats ice cream is nasty. These are serious failures that need to be addressed. Young people don't want a bribe. They want a leader who will secure our future. Biden is not going to paper over these foundational shortcomings by promising us $20,000.
Okay. What if he offered $25,000?
Yeah, we'll take it.
Okay, see, yeah. But that was easy. That was too easy. Josh, what about $21,000?
Hell no. You're going to offer money on matters of principle?
What, $24,000?
Deal.
$22.50. $23.
Ooh, here we go, Joe. Build back better, baby. All right.
Oh, wow. He already has the money. Josh Johnson, everybody.